This is the plaintiff, Crystal Graham. She says she was subjected to unhealthy living conditions in the apartment she rented from the defendant, who was the epitome of a slumlord. That's right, the place she rented was infested with mold. It grew on her shoes, in her closet. The defendant did nothing to remedy the situation, and she incurred damages in the amount of $5,000. And she's seeking just that from the court today. This is the defendant, Nick Vulis. He says the plaintiff complained about her moldy shoes in the closet, but the boxes she stored the shoes in were moldy, and he thinks they were that way when she moved in. Bottom line, the woman vacated the place. She still owes rent, and this woman's nothing more than a scammer. He's accused of not taking things seriously.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented a place from the defendant. It was so bad mold was growing on her shoes. But the defendant says the plaintiff's a scammer. It's the case of your shoes break the mold.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Graham, how long have you been living there?
About a year and a half.
All right, are you still living there?
No, I am not.
Or when did you move out?
December 15th.
Now, you, the problems first came up when you noticed what?
Mold.
Where?
On my shoes.
Did you call him?
Not right away. I did text his girlfriend, and I told her, I have mold on my shoes. This was in June of 2018, and she said that they will install a vent in the room and in the closet.
And what happened?
Nothing. They told me to put the fan on and that they will work on getting a vent in. I have not heard anything from them. No progress was made. I sent him photos of the shoes, of the mold. And I left with my dog. I did not feel comfortable.
When did you leave?
Situation. September.
Okay, so these are the moldy shoes.
Yes.
And where had those shoes been stored?
I've had shoes in the closet, outside of the closet, and by the side of my bed as well.
Anywhere else?
No.
So did you send him the pictures?
I did.
And what did he say?
I'll work on it.
Okay, so tell me, she's been bringing up the problem since June, she says. Is that true?
No, July was when she brought up the problem.
Okay.
And I went down and treated the place.
Well, how'd you treat the place?
With mold inhibitor.
Okay, do you have any pictures of any mold on anything that's not your shoes, like the walls?
I do.
Okay, and did you introduce these into evidence?
I do not have it on the walls. I have it on hangers, and I have it on a case.
Is it in this group of pictures?
It should be, yes. Oh, that's the picture there.
Where? We'll go ahead and walk over to the TV,
Sure.
please.
This one right here.
Okay, what's that a picture of?
Those are the hangers, and you
Okay.
can see the mold growing around it.
Yep.
And then this right here is another one.
And what is that?
That is the case. I have my massage table inside of that, and on the outside you see it. That was just in the apartment.
So, did anybody bring in a dehumidifier to try to?
I've had a dehumidifier, and he's told me to only run it 4 hours on the weekend, otherwise it will run up the electricity bill.
Because electric is included?
Yes.
All right, so you move out, go ahead and go back. So you move out in September, because you don't want to live there anymore under these conditions, and do you have a lease?
No lease.
No lease. So you move out in September, do you tell him when you're moving out?
I told him that I was leaving until the problem was fixed.
Okay. Did you ever go back there?
He called me and said I could come back October 10th.
Did you come back?
I did, and those pictures are because every time I went there, I would take a picture of the progress that was being done.
So tell me about the work that was being done. What was it you decided to do?
Okay, so after she complained about the mold, she decided to leave the house. Then there was a period of time where I didn't do anything, about a week, until I was waiting for my friend to come and help me with tearing out the walls to see if there was any mold in the foundation behind the walls. I was concerned also for my well-being as well as hers.
Were you living there?
I was, and I still am.
Okay.
So when we tore the walls down, we didn't find a stitch of mold.
But why don't you just hire a mold guy to come and tell you what's going on, you know?
At the time, I'm not working, and I couldn't afford to have anybody come in and do that.
But isn't it more money to tear down walls than to hire the mold guy? How much was the mold guy going to charge?
I did the tearing down all myself, so that was the way I was able to afford to do that.
But we didn't find out what the problem was that way.
Well, there was no mold.
There was no mold there, but there's mold all over her stuff. How's it getting there?
Okay, well, I think the mold happened because of the non-cleanliness of the apartment.
Was there mold anywhere else in the apartment?
There was mold in the corner where her dog was, in that corner where her dog would sleep. There was some.
Do you have a picture of it?
I do.
May I see it? Because I'm looking at pictures of the place. It doesn't look like she kept it particularly filthy.
Okay, so these are some pictures of when I turned over the couch and looked behind the couch.
It's a bunch of dog hair. This is what was underneath there.
That's the couch, and then the clean part is where the couch ends. So I just turned over the couch, and this is what I found.
What is this? That's a comb, but what's the rest of the white stuff?
It's all dog hair that was underneath the couch.
But what are the round white things?
I don't know. I just cleaned.
So you don't pick up much under the couch, huh?
Not weekly, as I clean everything else.
I mean, weekly, I mean, ever. But, so did she leave the sofa behind?
The sofa we left for her when she moved in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're suing for. You have a security deposit that was a 2-month security deposit, $2,600, correct?
It was not.
According to you, it's how much?
It's 1 month security deposit.
Do we have an original lease that would tell us how much it was?
No.
She's lying, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on one second. Was it your security deposit $1,300 and you're doubling it, or was it $2,600?
It was $2,600.
You're going to have to prove that.
Okay.
Because typically it isn't 2 months.
I do not have anything.
lie.
Okay, but wait a minute. Stop chiming in. And why don't you have the proof right now? You're suing for it. Why would you walk into court without the proof that you paid it?
So if you rent an apartment that has mold in it, can you automatically break the lease, move out, and get your deposit back?
I should hope so. My health is more important than his lease.
Do you have to give the landlord a chance to get rid of the mold and write it out?
Yeah, if they get rid of the mold, then you should be able to move back in, but your health is more important than the mold.
Okay, what do you say?
That I think we can go out, but I think we should do something. I don't know.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
I could not get a receipt from this guy.
What do you mean a receipt? Did you pay cash?
I did.
Then your hand doesn't let go of the cash.
I understand.
That's not someone else's fault. That's the idiot who's giving away thousands of dollars and doesn't insist on proof. Grab the nearest roll of toilet paper and a crayon and write down a receipt. It's not, I couldn't get a receipt out of this guy. Could you believe him? You don't let go of money without a receipt. It's the person with the money. Just don't let go. You'll see how fast they'll write it down. Anything. Yeah, I acknowledge I just got $2,600. Do you have a lease?
I don't.
Everything is verbal with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So how does a person even prove that they have a security deposit with you?
I don't know. But what I'm saying the truth, and
Oh, wait, and what are you saying? Are you saying the truth too?
She's lying. She's lying. I can tell you that.
Well,
she only gave me $1,300 as a security
we're dealing
deposit.
with the $1,300 figure because you are acknowledging the $1,300 figure. If you walked in here and said she didn't give me anything, you'd be out of gas completely. Isn't that interesting? That's why you need to have a receipt when you let go of money. All right, now let's talk about the next thing. Dog boarding for 4 weeks. That was because you, when you left for them to handle the problem, you had to board your dog?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to find a place for my dogs to stay.
Had you paid September rent?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you pay, you didn't pay October?
No.
Did you pay November?
No, I haven't paid.
Did you pay this, when did you move out? I'm sorry.
December 15th.
So you didn't pay October, November, or the half month of December?
Yes.
Okay, and did he ask you for rent?
He did ask me for rent. He did tell me that I was going to be using out my security and he said that I wouldn't have to pay October because I paid September and stayed there, and did not stay there in September.
Okay. You did not collect rent in November, correct?
No, ma'am.
And you did not collect rent in December, correct?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever tell her anything about that? Did you say, hey, you got to pay rent if you want to live here?
I did.
And what happened?
I actually texted her. I have a text. She was asking me for her security deposit so she can go get another apartment.
Right.
So I told her that once she's done and returns the keys and the rent is paid up to date, that I would give her her security deposit back, which was $1,300. This is the first I ever heard of $2,600.
See, you have this, you didn't pay rent in October in order to compensate for the problems in September, all right? But then we got November and December. Whether you leave December 15th or not is, I don't care. If you're in there a day of December, you owe December. That's $2,600 on that side of the ledger that you owe. Now, there's a security deposit over there already, so that's $1,300 on that side of the ledger that you owe. So the question is, are you able to prove more than $1,300 in damages that would cause me to then tell him he's got to pay you something? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 month is on him because of the problem. Now, you do not have a counterclaim against her. Anything you're telling me about is what we call in the law a set-off, which is, all right, Judge, I just want to get rid of this problem. I don't want to get paid, but I just, I don't want to pay her, and here's why. That's called a set-off, and that's what I'm calculating right now. And I find that you are unable to prove to me more than that $1,300 in damages. Even with the dog boarding and a generous depreciated value of the shoes based on the pictures you showed me, it still wouldn't amount to more than the $1,300. So based on that, my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Your Honor.
So the plaintiff does not prevail here in the court. The defendant gets to keep the $1,300 security. Your problem, you didn't have receipts,
I completely understand, yes. It was definitely unfortunate that I didn't have those receipts. It's definitely something that I do feel like I do deserve. And, it is what it is,
Well,
right?
when you come to court, you got to prove to the judge. Yeah, but did you watch People's Court?
No, I did not.
That's your big problem right there. If you did, you would know. Receipts, you got to have them. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm sorry for you.
That's okay.
That's it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bolas. Well, that's quite a problem you had in the house. Is it cleared up, do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely cleared up, but it wasn't such a big problem. I think the problem was more with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you re-rented it now?
I did.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So you're back in operation?
Yes, sir.
All right, good for you.
Great.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I'm gonna sign some documents. And Harvey, what do you think?
Hey, real quick, Doug, there's something called a warranty of habitability. It's implied in every lease, whether it's written or not. And that means you have a right to a place that is free of health and safety hazards. Mold is a hazard.